The phone call. Just as Hugh Grant was jumping into the car to rush to the airport and intercept the love of his life at the very last moment, the telephone rang. My sister and I both sighed. Oh, but it's only 10 minutes from the end. Enos pressed the pause button, stood up, and picked up the phone. I looked at Hugh Grant, desperately in love and caught on freeze frame. It's for you. Your husband must be missing you. Oh, nonsense. I only left this morning. We lived in the countryside, about 150 kilometers from Hamburg, on the North Sea coast, right by the sea and at the end of the world. Or that's how it felt anyway. It was beautiful there. Bernd had grown up in the village, but it admittedly wasn't a great base for my job. I frequently visited clients in Hamburg and Niedersachsen, and often had to stay overnight. Whenever I had appointments in Hamburg, I stayed with my sister. This was my first evening at her place, and we had planned a lazy girls' night in, complete with Notting Hill and chilled white wine. My husband wasn't the type for pining, even though I often hoped that could change. I took the phone from Enos. So, Bernd, what did I forget? Can I call you back in a bit? Our film's only 10 minutes from the end. I have to talk to you. Something in his voice made me leave where I was sitting next to my sister and take the phone into her office. What about? Bernd cleared his throat and fell silent. So did I. We had been married for almost 10 years. In the last 4, something had changed between us. For the most part, I just suppressed my thoughts and hoped things would improve. Bernd wasn't the kind of man who found it easy to speak about his feelings, and he would bring any conversation I started about us to an abrupt end. So I'd just reconciled myself to being part of a good team. After all, you can't really expect to still have the same emotional intensity and passionate sex after 10 years together. The silence was broken by Bernd clearing his throat again. I couldn't bear it anymore. Has something happened? Yes. No, I've been thinking. It seemed like he was drunk. What about? Christine, I want a divorce. It hit me like a thunderbolt. I suddenly felt sick and could feel my heart racing. I started to shake. I had the feeling I didn't have much time. Have you been drinking? What's happened? Is something wrong? Everything was fine this morning. What does all this mean? Bernd, say something, will you? My voice had become shrill. Bernd cleared his throat again, but said nothing. I couldn't understand what was happening. Over the weekend, everything had been as normal. On Saturday, we'd been to a party at our neighbor's place. It was a nice evening, and everyone had been in a good mood. Bernd had gone home relatively early and told me to stay on. He said he'd just drunk a little too much wine and was feeling tired. When I got back later, he was already in bed asleep. Sunday was just like countless Sundays that had gone before it. We had breakfast, and then I worked at my desk, while Bernd repaired something or other in the garage. We went to his parents' for lunch and spent the afternoon reading, drinking coffee, watching TV, and ironing. In the evening, I packed my bag for the week ahead. Everything was as normal. And now, just 24 hours later, this. Bernd, please, you can't just ring me up at Enos's and spring something like this on me. It's just that everything's gotten to be too much for me. The house, my job, our marriage. Life's too short. I didn't understand. What's wrong with the house? Why don't we see if we can change something then? We'll figure something out together. It's not about that. I just don't want to live with you anymore. I felt sick to my stomach. But we have to talk properly. We can't just discuss this on the phone. When will you be back? My travel schedule, with all my appointments on it, had been hanging in the kitchen for years. But despite that, Bernd never knew where I was or when. I'll rearrange my appointments somehow. I'll be back tomorrow evening. Okay, we'll talk then. But it won't change my decision.